Yeah, see the first question. Communalism arises either due to power struggle or relative deprivation. Argue by giving suitable examples. Sushmita, are you in the class, Sushmita? Okay, done. See the first question, everyone. Communalism arises either due to power struggle or relative deprivation. Argue by giving suitable illustrations. Sushmita, you can unmute yourself and give the structure of the answer in just 1 minute. Yeah, Sushmita, you can unmute. Can you speak? Mic is available with you or not? Sushmita. Okay. So try to respond as soon as possible. Okay, fine. Basically, what the question talks about, Jitender? Communalism arises either due to power struggle or relative deprivation. Argue by giving suitable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's directly asking, and he is directly giving a statement regarding communalism has arrived either due to political struggle and deprivation. So we can argue with the statements or examples.
So what should be the approach of the answer?
So we can divide it as two parts: communalism due to arrival due to political struggle and due to
power struggle, not political struggle. Power struggle.
Yeah, sir. Power struggle. Yeah, power struggle and relative deprivation. A and B we can divide and we can conclude our way forward.
Okay. So
with examples.
In the introduction, you can give briefly 2 or 3 lines about communalism, right?
Yeah, sir.
So basically, communalism is what she has written. Communalism is a very narrow string in the context of Indian ideology, which states that society is divided into different religious communities whose interests differ from, at times, oppose each other. Okay, fair enough. Okay, basically, communalism is not by itself a negative word. There are, as per Bipin Chandra, there are various forms of communalism or various stages of communalism. So at the first stage, I feel that my religion is different from others' religion. That is also communalism. That is not harmful. In fact, most of us differentiate such things like my religion is different from others' religion. Second stage, I feel the others' religion is influencing my religion, or it is a kind of disturbance to my religion. That's where the real disturbance starts. In the third phase, I think that the very existence of that religion is dangerous to my religion. So the third phase of communalism is generally referred to as communalism. Okay, so that way one feels that the existence of other religion is harmful to their own religion. So that is a very narrow string of ideology which is dangerous to the society. So by giving simple definition of communalism, because this is a 150-word answer, we should directly jump into the question. You need not write what are the causes of communalism or what is the background of communalism, when did communalism start in India, not at all required. Straight away come to communalism due to power struggle. Okay, what are the various aspects of communalism due to power struggle? So whenever we remember about power struggle, we remember about the political aspect. Okay, the first point is valid. Political parties give hate speech during election campaigns. Parties using the communities as their vote banks. Okay. And then conflict resolution with violence. Power struggle. Okay. Conflict resolution through violence. Okay. So basically she means to say that when two groups are believing that violence will solve between violence is the solution between them because of the hatred or something of that sort, that is one. Conflict resolution through violence is a mean of power struggle. That means whoever wins that particular battle is considered to be mightier, and thereby they will enjoy more domination in the society. Okay, exploitation, you can use of exploitation. Okay, and then power struggle, you can also write the minorities trying to be assertive with regard to their rights. When the grassroots level representation is not there, when they are devoid of the political rights, even then the power struggle and there is communal attitude. And wherever there is a domination of majority in democracy, even there communalism through power struggle is seen. Okay.
So can we add reservation in relative deprivation? Can we add reservation?
No, reservations, they are social aspect, right? And then how is it related to power struggle? You can say, you can talk about Dalit assertiveness. You can talk about the political angle of that, like assertiveness by the lower castes or lower classes for power. In that way,
that's what I am saying. Reservations, upper caste Hindu community feels that they deserve same level of affirmative actions as reserved classes.
That is different. Reservations is a constitutionally recognized term. Okay, if someone is claiming reservation or someone is opposing reservation, that is purely their personal view.
Yeah, sir.
The outcome of opposition for reservation is the caste assertion.
Yeah.
Understood? So
yeah,
you cannot write reservation as a condition, but you can write caste assertion as a condition.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Rajni.
Sir, in the power struggle, can we also add the point about history, that the history in India is projected as the power struggle between Hindus, Muslims, and Christians? So the communalism today has the roots in the historical power struggle.
Yes, you can write the example of Muslim League. Why go back to Hindu Muslim during Mughals? You write about Muslim League. The classic example of communalism for power struggle is Muslim League. And it's a non-controversial example because the entire history acknowledges that the Muslim League has asked for partition only for power. And they have actually seeded the thoughts of communalism into everyone's minds because of greed for power. Okay. And then the second aspect is communalism due to deprivation. Again, blasphemy is a different thing concept, Anil. Blasphemy is something like sacrilege towards a religion. Okay, it's not communalism. Communalism is between two different religions. Blasphemy is generally within that religion. Okay, deprivation can be social, economic ways. Okay, for example, if someone is poor, they can be easily influenced towards communal angles. So poverty is one of the reasons for deprivation, which is leading to communalism. Okay, and then the other part of deprivation is social deprivation. As Jitendra said, when the lower castes are suppressed, they try to become assertive, and in that point they turn violent and the communal thoughts may develop. So the social aspect is the caste. Okay, and then the other part of deprivation is not having legal rights. Like we all have Article 14 in India, but how many of the people Article 14 they enjoy? We say that right from a layman to the Prime Minister of India, everyone is equal before the law. Are we really implementing that in letter and spirit? People with money power, are they not getting off the hook? So legal rights, though they are on paper equal to everyone, the powerful are enjoying other legal rights. Yes or no? So
Sir, can we add in political sphere that BJP has zero Muslim representation in Rajya Sabha? Or it will become a controversial set.
no, don't write all those.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, you want to become civil servant under BJP only, right?
Yeah, sir.
So don't write all those.
Yeah, sir.
So legally also it's very not same for everyone. Sorry to say this, but you can see the legal or the justice system for people who have money or people who do not have money. And very recently we have seen that example also. Yeah. Can you tell me one example where you have seen that there are two different justice systems working for people who are powerful and people who are not powerful?
So last year, when the arrest of Arnav Goswami was done, the Supreme Court was proactive to give the judgment as early as possible. But when the other trials were made, uh, there was no case at all till at least 3 to 4 months.
Yes. Yes. That is one classic example of how powerful people can influence the judicial system. So that is when people who are deprived of such things, they also can turn into communal elements. Okay. So with this, all these examples, you can write a very good way forward. Okay. What we can say is communalism as it grows in a democracy is a threat to the unity of the society as a whole. Hence, the need of the hour is to empower all the stakeholders and sections of the society equally without deprivation, and also ensuring that the power reaches to the last mile, which is the grassroots democracy should be implemented. Only then the hatred, the seeds of hatred in individuals can be removed to certain extent. Clear? We have done Saumya, Vaishnavi, we have done. Anyone we have not done in the last 2-3 days? Rajni, I think we have done. Renuka, I think we have not done, right? Renuka, you are in the class?
Yes, sir.
See the second question. Distinguish between religiousness or religiosity, one and the same, and communalism, giving one example of how the former has got transformed into latter in independent India. Okay, it's a good question, but not that tricky. What the question says? Distinguish between religiosity and communalism. What is religiosity and what is communalism? Give an example of how the former got transformed into latter. Just now, in the first question, I gave you 3 stages of communalism. Do you agree that that is part of this answer? Yes or no? In the first question, I gave you 3 stages of communalism. The first stage of communalism is nothing but religiosity. I believe that my religion is good, fair, but the other religion is something different from me. That is not at all harmful. I am a Hindu. I have a Muslim friend. I know that his religion and his cultural system is different. That is not at all communalism. Only when I think the very existence of other religion is impacting my religion is communalism. So the first stage is religious or religiosity. That I follow my religious textures. I understand my religion and I am confined to that. Only what happens is when the extreme form of religiosity, where I am insecure about my religious principles or my cultural practices, where I feel threatened by every action of the other community, I become communal. Is this difference clear? If you understand this difference, you can write any answer on communalism.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can directly bring out, so the approach what she has taken, Renuka, is right. Here she has defined what is religiosity and then communalism, and then straight away she has come to the differentiation angle. Okay, so what is the differentiation between the two? Religiosity is basically, it is basically a principle of belief in one's own religion. Okay, religiosity may not be worship of God. Renuka, it may not be worship of God. Within religion, there might be people who may not worship God, but they might be following each and every aspect of the religion. Okay, so you can say basically the following of religion as per the scriptures written is religiosity or religiousness. Okay, and then yes, it is practiced since ancient India and it is practiced across the world. Entire world is divided into various religions. Each and every religion has its own religiosity. Okay, and then practiced by most of the population of the world. Yes, and then basically all the religions across the world, you can say they preach peace. They preach peace or non-violence. Yes or no? And then coming to the communalism, yes, belief system of social phenomena emerged with mobilization. And then how you have simply written religiosity transformed into communalism, but how we have to write? Basically, the transformation is because of insecure attitude. Communalism comes from insecure attitude. If I am sure that my religion is fair, my religion is supreme, my religion is peaceful, my religion is tolerant, my religion is everlasting, I will not feel insecure by others' religion. So communalism comes through insecurity. Okay, and it generally leads to violence. Communalism leads to violence. Okay, communalism leads to violence. So we can write few examples here, like what you have mentioned, the partition of Bengal. It's an example of how religiosity turned into communalism, where Hindus and Muslims turned insecure about each other, and the great Bengal riots came into picture, and many lakhs of people died. Okay, and then when most of the Mughal rulers were tolerant, some Mughal rulers like Aurangzeb were making this religiosity into communal angle by imposing certain taxes. Okay, And even in the recent cases, you can write about mob lynching. Mob lynching is the example of how religiosity has converted into communalism. The cow vigilantes, as we call. Okay, it's wrong. We may pray cow, but then killing someone because of eating beef is not permitted in the constitution. So what are the various aspects which lead to religiosity to become communal is, again, you can bring in the first answer here. The deprivation, the lack of political empowerment, and vote bank politics, not proper implementation of reservations, the suppression of minorities. All these aspects convert the religiosity into communalism. And again, you can conclude that India for long is known for its tolerance, peace, and the everlasting civilization. The need of the hour is to imbibe the principles of non-violence into each and every individual, which is the basic tenet of all the scriptures across religions. Any communal thoughts should be suppressed in the budding stage, and we as a humans should be embracing of each culture as we believe in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. You can give example of you can share the example of Kashmiri Pandits, not a problem. Jitendra, see, I am making a very rough draft of my model answer, and that's the reason why I told you people to have a model answer during discussion and post it in the group. Okay, I'm not making a fair 150-word answer like you guys are doing. And one more thing, what I want to tell you is, you guys are writing answers very good. Now number of people writing answers has increased. There are more than 10 people who are writing consistently. It's a very good number. But what you guys should do is, you are writing answers, attending the class, having the discussion. But what after attending the class? I am making so many suggestions and corrections to your answers. Are you implementing them? Are you writing across your answers? Are all the 20 people sitting with their answer booklets? And when I am discussing, say, Rajni's answer, Sriram's answer, or Prashanti, Venkateshwari, anyone answer I am randomly picking up and discussing. Are you guys in this process correcting your own answer, or simply listening? Like what Arnab Goswami debate is like.
No,
Like
sir,
India
we are
wants to
correcting.
know, is it like RamSai wants to know?
No, sir, I just want to ask only the model answer for the second question. I was a bit of confused in this question, so I just asked.
I am discussing, right? You make a model answer, Jitendra. You are
Yes,
very
sir, yes,
capable.
sir.
You make a model answer and post it in the group.
Yes, sir.
See, I am being honest, because like I am a little bit experienced than you. I can make an answer for any question of UPSC within 2 or 3 minutes. That is my confidence. Okay, I spend half an hour to 40 minutes before coming to the class. So I just see the questions. Because the portion, everything myself and Ramana sir have discussed, and the questions are also known to me beforehand, I spend around 40-45 minutes, around 5 to 10 minutes on each question, and make some draft. Either note it down in my mobile or on a piece of paper, I do that. And then come to the class. And then in parallel, I'll see your questions also. Some points in your questions I pick up, your answers I pick up, because some points I might have missed. I am very open. I generally say that I don't think that my answers are supreme. So some relevant points in class you are giving. So when you are giving your points, I am also updating my mobile or the piece of paper that yes, this point I missed. So that is how together collectively we will improve. And if someone is not doing this, when we are discussing, please have your answer sheets with you, keep them with you. Okay, apart from the discussions which are going, I am giving so many other points about how to approach the question, what are the relevant points, what I'm telling you about some facts, some dimensions. So in the context, you try to evaluate your own answer, and then you try to add points which I have told in the class. If you are not doing, then the exercise is futile, because the entire thing will be lost in next 1 week, 10 days. I'm not talking about the recordings. I'm talking about the recordings in your memory. Okay. If it's about post-independence India, we need not mention about Muslim League Vaishnavi. Not a problem. Okay, we can talk about caste assertion, deprivation, other aspects. Okay. So I hope you're all doing that. If you're not doing, do it right now. If it's not possible in this class, do it from next class, please. Unless you do that, you will not benefit out of this exercise. What are the challenges to our cultural practices in the name of secularism? A very, very, very controversial question. You know that it's a controversial question. This question has made an IAS officer to resign also. One IAS officer of Tamil Nadu cadre has resigned in protest for Modi government for asking this question in UPSC. So, Hindu, we have seen Hindu's paper. No. Did she write the? Hindu, you are in the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the question about? Challenges to our cultural practices in the name of secularism. So slightly controversial. You should be careful while writing such answers. Don't show your rightist attitude or leftist attitude or atheist attitude. Be practical. Okay, what is the demand of the question? You write. Especially in questions like communalism, secularism, regional attitudes. All these questions test your balance. Okay, they may say that formation of regional states is a threat to a unity of India. You might be, some of us might be hardcore fans of Telangana movement. You say, how dare you give that statement? It's a very, people in Telangana have fought tooth and nail to get the state. Don't become emotional. Okay. So the intention of that question might be different. So handle it in a balanced way. Similarly, these kind of questions, what are the challenges to our practices in name of secularism? So basically, what are challenges to the practices in the name of secularism? Anyone wants to say? Raghu, you want to talk about this answer?
Yes, sir, we can add the effects on culture and effects on family values.
Sorry?
Effects on food culture, tradition.
Challenges to our culture in the name of secularism. That means he is indirectly asking you about the so-called pseudo-secularism. It's a favorite word of the recent government. So instead of asking like that, they are saying that what is pseudo-secularism? Instead of that, they are asking you what are the challenges to our cultural practices in the name of secularism. So what do you think is the expected answer? Basically, they are saying that the cultural practices are important to religion and the people, but by calling our country secular, we are threatening the cultural practices. You understood the question? Okay. Rajni, you want to now tell us the examples of what are the practices which are under the threat in the name of secularism?
Yes, sir. So, since the question is very like tricky, and we don't want to be seen as criticizing the government right and left, so what I had written is about the food and the marriage, that is a triple talaq issue, and some schools having this rule as you should come in attire in such a way that your religious identity should not be visible. For example, you cannot wear burqa in school. As also, you cannot have jewelries and bindis for girls.
So I'll take one example
So
from
I
you.
have
I'll take one example from you. So burqa, not wearing burqa because it is a secular school, is a challenge to cultural practice. Okay. And that entire issue has burned down the Karnataka. Okay. So very valid example. And a very valid example. And we all have seen that recently in the Karnataka issue, right? How burqa issue have become a very big issue there. Right. That example we can take. Next example.
triple talaq, as in order to give the equality to women as compare on par with men. So it challenges the Muslim personal law with triple talaq,
Okay, but then
like banning the triple talaq.
triple talaq was a inhuman practice. So you mean to say that tomorrow sati is there, so you'll encourage sati as a cultural practice? So triple talaq, I don't think it's a valid example. Okay, because triple talaq was definitely discriminatory against women. Okay, to make it criminalized or to imprison the person for 3 years and all, it's a very other debate. It's a completely different debate. Triple talaq is not even encouraged in many Islamic countries. So triple talaq is not an example.
Sir, I gave that example with a view that though it challenges the cultural practices of one religion, the Supreme Court has banned it, keeping in view that the secularism treats all religions as well as all persons as equal. So I meant it as a positive government action,
Okay, but then the
even though it
action
is
is
challenging.
enjoying popular support, so let's not talk about it. Then Sriram, you have any point to make in this question? Why I'm trying to indulge you people in this question? Because this question and the fifth question are toughest questions. Okay, I can simply give my model answer and get away, but then I want you people to analyze and come out with the answer by yourself. Okay, and wherever your points are relevant, I will take them, and wherever your points are sensitive or lightly, and then I'll try to, even if I'm rejecting the point, I'll try to say it in a logical way. Then yeah. Religious conversions for marriage. Vaishnavi says religious conversions for marriage are a threat to cultural practices in the name of secularism. Again, understand that, Vaishnavi. So I would just try to reframe your point. I would say forced religious conversions. Then it will become valid. Okay, then Sriram, are you available?
Yeah, sir. Like we can quote examples of recent examples of intolerance and violence between various religious communities.
Yes. Yes. And
The most recent
one-
example of Jahangirpuri in Delhi. That
yes, you can give. And I've just now told you one example of cow vigilantism. Is everyone agreeing about cow vigilantism? Cow vigilantism is an extreme form of, someone is saying that everyone has to respect cow and it's a cultural practice. Yes, Srikari, exactly what you wrote, I just now told that. Cultural practices, Sabarmala issue. Sabarmala issue. Sabarmala issue, can we write? In the name of secularism, though the deity is a brahmachari, the Supreme Court today allows women between age of 10 to 50 to enter Sabarmala, which is against the cultural practice. Can you write that? Okay, so these are some things you can write, and we can write about the practice of Jallikattu also. I have made the point of Jallikattu also. Like in the name of secularism, sometimes we don't want to hurt animals and plants, which are part of our cultural practices. Example, Jallikattu. Okay. So you can conclude by saying that we as a nation are definitely secular and respect all the religions because we do not have any state religion. But at the same time, being deeply religious country, we respect our cultural practices, and we must ensure that we employ the idea of non-violence, tolerance, and acceptance of the fact that India is a multicultural and a diverse nation, and we are a pluralistic democracy. Raghu, implementation of uniform civil code is itself, people are saying that it's a threat to their cultural practice in the name of secularism. So you can give it as an example. Right? Understood the third answer. Why I've tried to involve you people more in the third answer is, it was very tricky question in 2019. Many people left it. Many people did not answer it. Many people felt afraid of it because they did not know what to write and they felt that they will hurt the examiner. Okay. They thought it is a challenge to their marks in the name of exam. Okay. So that's why they did not attempt it also. Fine. What positives you want to add, Prashanti? You can unmute and say. If you are having mic, you can unmute and say to save the time.
Abolition of sati.
Abolition of sati is a, abolition of sati is definitely a progressive reform, like triple talaq.
And widow remarriage, child
No,
marriages.
how is it a threat to our cultural practice in the name of secularism? The question is, in the name of secularism, we are suppressing some practices which are good, not which are bad. Which are bad, we are not debating. That's why when Rajni told the example of triple talaq. I said it was a practice which was opposed within the Islam only. So we are not debating about it. It is having reasonable mileage. Okay, what is the next question? How do Indian debates on secularism differ from debates in the West? Okay, very fairly easy question again. This fourth question is easy. I think most of you have written it and written it in a very fair way. It's an easy question. Did you write, Srikari? Yeah. How do debates on secularism differ from the debates, Indian debates on secularism, debate from the West? Yeah. So basically, for this question, it is as simple as that. You need to just start about Indian concept of secularism, how there is no state religion, and the government basically involves into every religious practice if it is against the constitutional morality. If certain religious practices are against constitutional morality, the government of the day involves into that. So there is no state religion, all religions are equal. And then in the Western concept of religion or secularism, the state doesn't involve itself with any religion, and the involvement of religion is only with the church. And you can make much more points. In India, there is no separation as such, because if you see the Telangana government, it is giving Ramzan gift, it is giving Batkama saris, and it is also giving Christian gifts. And the KCR is organizing Batkama festival, as he is organizing the iftar party. And when it comes to Christmas, he is giving some gifts also to Christians. So basically, the state, though it doesn't have religion, there is no separation between religion and state. The state gets involved into all the religions. But in Western secularism, there is a strict separation of religion and the state. Okay. And in India, there is Article 25, which is right to religion. You can practice your religion anywhere. Anywhere. You can go to parliament, or you can go to any place in India with a bottu on your forehead, because that is part of your religion. But in Western countries, that is not allowed. Okay, and that is the major debate in France, right? And basically in India, religion is part of the constitution and also part of the lawmaking. While in Western countries, it is not part of the religion and lawmaking. Okay. Secularism is a very recent concept, Srikari. So what you can say is tolerance of religions or accepting multiple religions is an ancient concept in India. And we accept the form of Sarva Dharma Samabhava. Very good. That is a good point. So in India, various religions coexisted right from the ancient ages. Okay. In India, one more different is that each and every religion has its own way of interpreting personal laws. What is there in Islamic personal law doesn't reflect in Hindu code. So basically, each and every religion has its own personal law. Okay. And then you can write, you have written some of them have written in tabular column. In fact, most of you people have written in tabular column. It is also good. And what is missing is, Srikari, you have to write a conclusion. What ideally you can write is, there is very strict partition of religion and state in Western countries, while in India, the religion is all inclusive. And it is a starting point for the concept of unity in diversity of the nation, with the larger goal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam and Sarmadharma Samabhava, that defines the Indian secularism when compared to West. Is it clear? I have seen many people have not written fifth question, probably because of difficulty or lack of time, or could not understand. Customs and traditions suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. Do you agree? Suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. Again, one of the controversial questions. Anyone has written fifth question? Okay, Raghu. Srikari and Sushmita. Sushmita, you have written? Whose was the first question I did today? Sushmita's question only, right? Whose was the first question I did today?
Sushmita, sir.
Okay. Rajni, did you write?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where is your answer script? Fifth question is slightly tricky. I have seen that attendance is dropping. Why? Good night to everyone, or what? People are leaving the classroom. Where is your answer script now? 1 second. Is this yours?
Yes, sir.
So fifth question is tricky. Four participants have left the classroom. Don't know what is so busy for them. I can see even Ram sir patiently in the class. He has no obligation to be in the class. I can see he is part of the class. And I am part of the class. But people are leaving for their own reasons. Customs and traditions suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. Do you agree? What did you understand basically, Rajni? Before looking at your answer, I want to understand, because many people did not understand the question at all, and very rightly they have not attempted it. I am giving benefit of doubt to them. When you absolutely don't understand the question, don't go and blabber something in mains also. Like prelims, you leave it when you absolutely don't understand. Okay? Don't look like a fool in front of the examiner. Yeah. What did you understand, Rajni?
So there are some customs and customs and tradition which do not have any valid reason in today's society.
Mhm.
So the reasons given by them to follow those are very vague and like not true to the knowledge. So that's what I understood by that term. And I have tried to give the examples of the various customs and traditions, that is child marriage and menstrual untouchability, sati, which do not have proper reasons in today's society.
Very good. I think you got almost 80% of the. Just give me a minute. Yes. So you got the question almost 80% right. And even I've seen answer of yours just now. And the answer is also, I think, really impressive in the context that while 6 out of 10 people will not understand the question at all, remaining 4 people will understand it and write something. But you understood and made a lot of sense in the answer. So that way, this type of questions are a chance to impress the examiner, because remaining part of first paper are static content. These questions will help you to make impression in the mind of examiner, because this is one of the toughest questions, and when you understand that and put a proper here presentation, content, framework, everything will become secondary, because it's a tough question. Understanding the question itself is given certain marks. Are you understanding, everyone? For questions which are straightforward, you have to think about framework, everything. Here, understand the question itself is a very important aspect of the marks. Okay. What basically the examiner is trying to understand is, are we losing our basic judgment when it comes to customs and traditions? In the name of customs and traditions, what do you mean by obscurantism? Means not having proper rationale. So are we becoming blind to rationality because of customs and traditions? That is the question. The word obscurantism is slightly on the higher end and some people may not understand. Simply, if I simplify now, saying that are we losing rationality in the name of customs and traditions? Now, Raghuram, can you attempt this question? The moment Rajni, you agree with the definition of rationality substituting for obscurantism?
Yes, sir.
Raghu, now you can attempt. I think now all the 15 people here can attempt. The moment I say, are we losing our rationality in the name of customs and traditions? Is it easier now? So that is what you need to understand in the mains hall. The questions are made tough, but the answers are easy. The all exercise you need to do is you need to understand certain topic or certain jargon of the wording. Simply I removed obscurantism and kept rationality. Now all of you are suddenly feeling that this question is easy. And then the moment you understand that we are losing rationality because of customs and traditions, and you can understand that the answer made by Rajni is very much relevant to the question, demand of the question. So what she has written, menstrual untouchability, yes, many high class families follow this, and there is absolutely no rationale for following this cultural or practice. She has given some definition about customs and traditions which are part of our day-to-day life or any religion. And she says that as the time changes, we are still outdated with regard to our customs and traditions which do not have certain rationality. Obviously, menstrual untouchability doesn't have any rationality. So that is a customs and traditions which is against rationality. Okay, sati system, which was prohibited long back in 1829. When the husband dies, the wife is also killed in the pyre. Absolutely no rational. Here, Rajni, you can write about triple talaq. Agreed? Here you can write about triple talaq. Like divorcing the woman in the name of triple talaq is irrational. Are you agreeing? So here the triple talaq can come into picture. And polygamy, yes, marrying multiple wives just because my holy scripture says so, again irrational. You can just improve the canvas of thinking. What are the other irrational practices in the name of culture we are doing?
Sir, we can also add patriarchy, or women not allowed into temples, parda system,
Yes,
devadasi system.
patriarchy is not okay. Patriarchy is not a custom or this thing. It is just a mindset. So patriarchy remove, but parda system agreed. Yes,
Women not allowed into temples and dargahs.
temples they are not allowed. I don't think it is true. Dargahs they are allowed into dargahs. They are not allowed into mosque.
Like Shabarimala temple before 2017.
Okay.
Before the
Okay. So you want to make it as a point here that is not some. It is against rationality. Okay, you can write that absolutely. So temples, when you mean, then be specific. Okay.
yes.
And then yeah, child marriage and parda system she has also written. So you can now improve your examples. A lot of examples can come into picture. Any practice which is against constitutional morality or rationality in the name of culture and tradition can be opposed. Yes, Rekari, of course. 100% animal sacrifice in the name of God. See, the moment I simplified the question, the points are just pouring from your side. Do they anywhere match with cultural survivals? See, cultural survival is different, Vaishnavi. Cultural survival is a different concept. Here, it is cultural survival of E.B. Taylor is basically talking about the different phases, how the culture survived from ancient period to the modern period. But here, the culture, how it is against the concept of rationality. The cultural survival may be rational or irrational, but here it is only about the irrational aspects of cultural survival. Okay, is it so? They are not allowed into inner sanctum of Dargah? Okay. Having more wives is telling that he has a wealthy person in tribal societies. See, having more wives as per religious scriptures or calling it because my religious is saying is irrational, because if he is wealthy or not is not defined by having number of wives. Okay, so we can call it out. We can call it out as a irrational practice. Next, anything else you want to add? So the moment I simplified the question, you guys are making so many points now. Yes, Vaishnavi, Santara. See again, valid point. Santara, fasting up to death. It is called Sallekhan in Jain philosophy. So if someone is fasting unto death because it is part of Jain philosophy, it is against rationality. Very valid point. Yes. caste discrimination in the name of purity, or based on the Manusmriti? Yes, definitely you can write. So just some time back, you people thought this question was tough. Now you are handling it better than me. Why? Because all you need to do was to simplify the wording at that point of time. And no one wrote any answer for this. Hardly 2 or 3 people have written answer for this question. Now, at least 10 people have given me points for this question. What was the difference? Now, sacred thread is, it is not impacting any rationality of the society, right? Even in that some people wear, some people don't wear. So it's not a common practice, right? Then, so you understood that this is the level of thinking required in mains. Mains is not tough. Mains is made to look tough. All you need to do have is presence of mind. And so is it prelims. Prelims is made to look tough. Slight presence of mind, and you should not shake. He is throwing bouncer at you. Try to pull it for 6, like how Rohit Sharma does. Don't get hit because of bouncer. Practice that. How can you hit a bouncer for 6? Only when you practice. And that's what we are doing. So tomorrow, if UPSC is going to throw a Bumrah like Yorker or someone like bouncer, you can simply play it instead of getting confused as to how to handle it. It comes with practice. And then, of course, the conclusion can be like, the conclusion for this answer can be like, as a society, we need to move towards rational form. And you can write in this particular question as a conclusion that any practice in the name of culture and tradition against the modern form of rationality and Indian constitutional morality has to be brought down, because at the end of the day, human rights are paramount, because those are ensured or enshrined in our constitution by the founding fathers. Clear? So basically, it's all practice. It's that you need to understand that question in the examination hall. If you understand the examination hall, the question was very easy. If you don't understand, the question was extremely tough. And I still remember that paper. Many people came out without even attempting this question. They said, UPSC is unpredictable, yaar. The common rumors you hear out of a mains hall. Oh, this fellow ways to study anything. UPSC always gives question out of syllabus. What is out of syllabus in this? Easy to blame exam. Easy to blame the examination paper setter. But did he deviate from the core aspect of not asking questions from syllabus? And I'm challenging you, you pick up any mains question for last 10 years, there is not even one question which is out of syllabus. People sitting there are not fools, okay? For our deficiencies, let's not blame the system or the examination. For them, the only job is to set the paper. So, and they are given clear instructions. At every stage, there is a training for UPSC for how to set a paper, how to evaluate a paper, how to take interviews. If you see, UPSC interview trends have changed. There is no personal targeting. Last 3 years, there is no personal targeting of people in UPSC interviews. The so-called interviews, right? What if you are a waste fellow? That questions are not there now. So the interview trends are changing. At every stage, UPSC people who go to UPSC for setting paper, correcting paper, taking interviews, they are all trained. So don't be of the idea that, okay, there is definitely some element of subjectivity. I'm not denying it. Some year, some optional clicks, some optional doesn't clicks. There is some subjectivity, but overall, there is decent predictability also. So be prepared with that, practice that, and keep doing this exercise again and again, what we are doing. And the same question, I'm challenging you and I'm openly giving you this statement. When you do next 100, 200 questions, such kind of questions will be sitters for you. 100 people will be finding it difficult, but you'll be happily writing your answer. Your pen doesn't stop in the examination. And that feeling of pen not stopping in the examination is nothing short of nirvana. Many people have experienced it. Okay. So that experience is something which is terrific. When you see the 20 questions, and after reading the 20 questions, when you start writing those answers, it gives that pumping feeling to you. So try to get that. I'll share more such experiences with you because I've given so many mains and interviews. Okay. It's just my misfortune that I was not on that side. It's okay. But then I have a lot of experiences to share, which definitely will motivate you guys. As it goes, I'll share, how sometimes in mains I felt out of context, and sometimes I've seen right beside me, I knew that that fellow was a ranker and how I could write very faster than them. And I'll share such examples, not an issue. But keep focusing, keep writing, and keep studying. Okay. On that note, we'll call it a day. We'll meet again on Monday. I'll inform you the timing. Monday also, I might have some issue, but whatever it is, I'll inform you in advance. Okay. Good night.